To my series on self-care, and today is part 2 of mental self-care, and part 1 had to do with why mental self-care is so important specifically, because self-care in general is important, but this is a series on all 5 different areas that are very important in our lives. So with that, I already went over the why and the goal of mental self-care and some of those things like that in the last video. So please watch part 1. But today is some examples. And if you have other examples and they really help you, please share them in the comments, because we're all here to help one another. And I definitely hope that the 3 that I'm going to hone in on today that I do on a regular basis are going to be helpful for you. The way I kind of came up with it is 3 different areas. That is the resting of your mind and the cleansing of your mind, and then literally changing toxic thoughts, changing negative or unhealthy thoughts. And so it doesn't mean they don't overlap. The exercises, the things that I'm doing for self-care that I'm going to mention here today, doesn't mean that they don't overlap with one another, but those are what I came up with. So it's kind of 3 different tips of mental health and mental self-care that I'm sharing today. And I have the second one is, I think it's the second one, right? Yeah. The second one, I have a 4-part series on it in detail. So I will put the links to those videos in the description for this one. So you can go check out that, because I decided to do a whole 4-part series so that I could refer my coaching clients to listen to those, because it's important to know the why. Okay? So the first area is resting your mind. And I've come up with something that I got an idea from one of my coaches, but I won't refer to who exactly came up with this because we're not sure. But I have learned this is the way I do it. And I kind of call it my soaking time, for a better word. But it's bigger than that. And that word soaking can be in the Christian realm or not. So if you have a way to word it, let me know. But basically, I put on a 15-minute timer, and I lay on my bed with my face up. I close my eyes. I put my hands straight out and just totally relax. And I put on this music that one of my previous coaches sent to me. But basically, it's music. It's no words, and it's not even really instrumental. It's just this moving music that helps me to imagine and just go to a happy place. So that's what I try to do I go to a happy place. For me, sometimes that's hiking, sitting by a stream and seeing the water flow down. Sometimes it's this kind of natural pool oasis that I've created in my mind, this whole setting. Lately, it's been me just usually like I'm looking up at the sky and I'm seeing the blue sky with the clouds and the breeze. It's just, I'm seeing trees and the leaves and the blowing, and there's just something been very peaceful, and it helps me to just forget everything else when I envision that. Sometimes there's birds chirping. So that's just to give you a little example for me. But and because I love Jesus, I include this time as kind of being part of my prayer time, but just being quiet before Him time. Sometimes I deep breathe in this, and sometimes when I deep breathe, I breathe in the positive and the healthy, and I breathe out the negative. So I might breathe in peace and breathe out anxiety, breathe in hope and breathe out hopelessness. So those are some ways that I do it. You can develop your own way, but I'm telling y'all, it is powerful. It resets my mind. It's like I can think better after that. It's definitely like it's given my brain a break, and it's healthy, peaceful to my body. I get sometimes very practical thinking just pops up, like I can think more clear, and then I get creative thinking more by doing this. And I just think it's all around a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful way to rest your mind. But anything you do where you can just go and chill and get your mind off of problems, work, everything else, okay? You can't think about that when you're resting your mind. So you can do it for shorter periods of time too, but this is what I do mainly on my work days, and it really helps me because I'm a life coach and I create material, I create speeches and so forth. So it really helps me. And the second area is cleansing the mind. That I want to refer to my exercise called 5 and 5. And that is on that 4-part series that I'm going to include in the description on this video. But if you put in, I didn't call them all 5 and 5 exercise, but some of them have that in the title, or it should come up. You know, if you put exercise 5 dash like /5 exercise. So basically, just touching on it, what I believe and why I put this under cleansing my mind is that when I need to, and I don't do it every day, but I've learned when I need to dump the negatives out of my head, whatever that would be. If I'm trying to figure something out, make a decision, you know, anything that's just not all positive and makes you feel great. I get it out on paper, and then I move on to the things that I'm grateful for, that I'm thankful for, and both of that helps to cleanse my mind and helps me to move into my day, think better, be more positive, be ready to help other people, be healthier in myself, more at peace in myself. So that's what I put under that I do on a regular basis. And that doesn't mean every day, but I do it on a regular basis. So it's great when we can make everyday habits and it works for us. I'm all for that. Being real about it, though, doesn't mean don't stop it. Don't keep going in something if, oh man, I didn't do it today. And I intended on doing it every day. Keep doing it, because the more something benefits you, the more likely you're going to keep doing it. And then the third area is the changing thinking. And the verse under another verse I want to mention is Colossians 3, verse 2. And it says, set your mind on the things above, not on the earthly things. For you died, and your life is now hidden in Christ, with Christ in God. So set your minds on the things above, not on the earthly things. Just if we would learn to do that and what that means, and we could do a whole video on that, maybe I will. Let me know if you'd like me to. But setting our minds, our hearts on the things above and not on earthly things, that I think right there is an act of moving us into cleansing our minds more. Okay? So in the third area is changing our thinking, changing our thoughts, and not just getting rid of bad, but literally changing and thinking more on the truth, on the good, on the healthy, and so forth. So my big area, and I've done videos on this too, is declarations. I am so about the declarations. I learned it years ago. It works for my learning style. It works for my love language. But I've learned to build myself up, and therefore then I'm not looking for others to do it. Then when I do get a compliment or something encouraging from somebody else, it of course it blesses me, but I consider that like a bonus. So, but this I believe is strongly a big part about me changing my own thinking. So the two verses just to mention that kind of are easy to get the idea of it, because I have a video and I'll probably try to find that and put the link in here on that one too, of what you do. You need to have 3 Ps to make it very powerful. 3 Ps in the declarations makes it very powerful. So, but 2 Timothy 1:7 says, to be exact, for God did not give us a spirit of timidity, but a spirit of power and of love and of self-discipline. So what I do is I personalize that. For God did not give me a spirit of, you can just say fear or timidity or cowardice, because they're all included in that word, by the way. So sometimes I say all 3 because they're different angles of fear, right? So God did not give me a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of self-discipline or self-control. That's the actual meaning of that verse. So that is a very simple one to look at and translate. Another very, very easy one is 1 Corinthians 2:16, which says, but we have the mind of Christ. So I just changed that to, I have the mind of Christ. And not only does that line me up, I believe, with wanting to be more like Jesus, which is an awesome goal, but I believe that and that empowers me to think the more way he thinks, which is going to be good for my health. Okay, so that's it in a nutshell. Again, I have other videos on that, but those are 3 different ways that we can work on our mental health. Now, you don't have to do all 3, but I just realized when I was working on this that those are 3 different ways to work on your mental health, and I do exercises within all 3 of those. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. Let me know what you do, or let me know, hey, I want to start doing the 5 and 5, Julie. I want to start doing that soaking time, if you want to call it that, or the declarations. I want to learn more about declarations. So if you know you need a coach right now and you need support, and it may be because your life is really a mess and you need help to move forward in that mess, or it may be that you just want to come to the next level in your life and you want to start achieving more goals and you haven't been able to do it just by yourself. Please reach out. I love to help people with their goals, to strengthen you, to support you, to encourage you, to help you find ways to do that, and be there for you. Please reach out. And I love to teach about the declarations. So that would be something we can work on together to find your own personal declarations that work for you. Okay? Because I give examples, but it's important we find our own and own them, because that's what brings real transformation. So that's what I wanted to share today. Next week will be on emotional self-care. So that's what I'm going to touch on next. And I hope you're getting something out of this. Please let me know in the comments if you're getting blessed by these videos or this video. And I look forward to seeing you next week. God bless you. This means I love you. Signing off. Julie K, helping you find your way. Bye-bye.